showing we don't need roads.
Gentlemen, so good to see both of you again. I miss you guys.
Good to see you, Jake.
Congratulations on this. I'm going to jump right into it because I got 1,000 questions for you guys. Jake, I'm going to start with you. I feel like you're at a point in your career where you can pick not just roles, but actual acting experiences, whether it's doing sort of a one-man show like this film, or if you want to perform on stage, or you want to try your hand at a superhero film. So I'm curious, when deciding which movie to do next, how much weight goes not into the role itself, but what the actual experience with the role is going to be like?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I think, very smart actor once told me that at a certain point you have to realize that this is your life. If you're lucky enough to do it, that you always say, oh, I'm going to work, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to work. But as we all know, the commitment we make to our work usually takes us from that life, and then it becomes our life in certain ways. It's definitely the case in telling stories. And so for me, a lot of my choices have become about who is obviously directing the film, but also the relationships I have with them. Because someone like Antoine, we've been through the initial kind of, oh, hey, we've been through all the tough stuff. We've been through the arguments already. We've been through the makeups already. We've been through all of it. So, why throw that away on one thing? That's a relationship. So to me, I really have started to say, I'm going to move towards those relationships. And yes, the experience of working with someone like Antoine, there's no one who could do this except for him, because it required a very focused, hardcore period of time that was very short, and we had to deliver. And both of us thrive in that space. So it was equally the experience, and also what the world brought to us.
Yeah.
We made this movie in the beginning of the pandemic, where nobody was really safe, at all. And no one really knew it was around the corner. And I think, there are not many people I would trust going into that space with. And Antoine is one of them.
I love that. Is that why I always get on your press list for junkets? Because of our experience? So because we just keep going back?
Yeah, that's
Both
right.
of us.
That's right.
I know.
Yes.
I hope so. Antoine, Denzel Washington once told me that the great story that he's talked about going nuts on the set of Training Day and ad-libbing the famous King Kong line. So I'm sort of curious, as a director, when do you know sort of when to just step back and let an actor take it and run with it? And were there any moments like that in this film?
Yeah, I mean, this one was written out clearly, and so was Training Day. Jake does some writing as well. He's humble about it, but Jake is a really good writer. He did a lot of writing on this. You just know, right? It is the relationship. It's a rhythm, right? It's like music, two fighters. Like there's a rhythm, and sometimes you know when to not direct. Yeah, because they're great artists themselves, and they start to create these magical moments that you can't write. It's just who they are, right? And each actor has a different thing. And so in this case, we stuck to the script a lot because it was so specific to the phone calls in the plot and the layout. So we stuck to it a lot. But there are moments in there where it is Jake, that just oozes out, whether he even subconsciously, he just does it. That's who he is. And that's what I love about him, so it just happens. And that's what gets me excited, and he doesn't even know there's times he just does it. He's just in his zone, and I'm writing down like that take. Yeah.
Yeah, do that. That's good. That works. I love that.
But it doesn't happen twice. He just does it. You can't predict it.
I love that. As we wrap up, both of you guys have two really big 20th anniversaries this year. Antoine, obviously, is the 20th anniversary of Training Day, and Jake is the 20th anniversary of Donnie Darko. I was curious if both of you could talk to me about the lessons that each of you learned from those films that you still carry with you today and maybe even used on this film.
Quickly, for me, what I learned on Training Day was the reason I want to make movies is actors. Watching Denzel and Ethan was just like, that's what it's all about, really. You could put the camera anywhere you want, but if you don't have that, you got nothing. So I still carry that today.
Love that.
That's why I love Jake.
I mean, that movie is about the unconscious, the expression of the unconscious told through cinema. I think cinema is an expression of the unconscious. We sit in the dark, we watch this thing. There are all these sort of metaphors and applied ideas all over the place. And, they're so powerful. But I think the biggest lesson I learned is on release of that movie, which was, you know, it was not considered successful when it was initially released. And, you know, people, you know, and we fought for it. We believed in something else. And over again, we were sort of rejected by the systems, you know, that we're all used to sort of following as a measure of success. And slowly over time, people found the beauty of it. And it has become what it has become, not because of what people would consider initial success, but because of holding on to its heart and people discovering it. It's been a long, slow burn for that movie. And the fact that you can talk about that movie in the same context of 20 years with Training Day, to me, is a massive success. And if you asked me 20 years ago, is this thing a massive success? I would have said no. And now I do think that. So it just shows you that you just never know. Even in the moment, you never know. You should believe in what you should believe in. And if you follow that, you'll always be good. So I'm reminded of that constantly with Donnie Darko.
Damn, that's awesome. Gentlemen, I am a massive movie fan, so I love talking with fellow massive movie fans and people who are at the top of their game, at the top of their craft. So as always, it is an honor. I know you have a busy schedule, so thank you for fitting me in.
Thank you, man.
Thanks,
Good to
Jim.
see you, buddy.
All right, guys. Good to see
Stay
you
well,
guys.
man.
Take care.
All right, later. Be safe.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.